This episode is brought to you by Contentful. Marketers, you know that feeling when your creative clicks? When that social post sends engagement through the roof? When your outside-of-the-box campaign hits ROI positive? When a personalized homepage turns prospects into customers? It's utter marketing bliss. Contentful helps you create tailored omni-channel experiences without working overtime. No stress, no limits, only possibilities. Get the feels at Contentful.com.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection and a welcome offer of 200,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
It's the Smucker's Uncrustables podcast with your host, Uncrustables. Okay, today's guest is rough around the edges. Please welcome Crust.
Thanks for having me.
Today's topic, he's round with soft, pillowy bread.
Hey.
Filled with delicious PB&J.
Are you talking about yourself?
And you can take him anywhere.
Why'd you invite?
And we are out of time.
Are you really cutting me off?
Uncrustables are the best part of the sandwich. Sorry, Crust.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you. Visit Blinds.com now for up to 50% off primetime deals and free professional installation. Rules and restrictions apply.
Did you guys see Luka, his Instagram?
No.
Oh, that's great.
What do you do?
Luka Doncic on Instagram posted a story Monday afternoon, a photo of Don Nelson accepting the award from Rick Carlisle, the coaching award with his shoes, Luka Doncic's shoes, and saying, "Congratulations, coach. Nice shoes."
Yeah.
I mean, can you provide some context? This is funny.
So I was at that press conference where Don Nelson was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award. It was Don Nelson's first time on the mainland in 7 years.
Wow.
When was the last time he was stateside?
Hall of Fame. When he went into the Hall of Fame. Matter of fact, when Dirk went into the Hall of Fame a couple of years earlier, he requested Don Nelson to be one of the guys who accompanies him on the stage because you always got to pick Hall of Famers to do that. And Nelly said, nah, no offense. I'm not coming.
Who is it? Dirk? Oh.
Not coming to the mainland.
I'm good.
So Nelly gets this award, and his comments are really quick. He just talked about being good friends with Chuck Daly and what an honor it was. And then he's just like, any questions? So every question he got asked, he told an amazing story. Michael Grange from Toronto Star, I want to say.
Yeah.
Michael asked him about Steve Nash. What was it about Steve Nash that he saw that turned into this amazing thing? And Nelly, in the span of his answer, told us that him and Mark Cuban's falling out was because of Steve Nash, because he wouldn't pay Steve Nash. He told us the story of Dirk, how they found Dirk, how they tried to stash him, how they tried to convince him not to play in the Hoop Summit. He did anyway, and he went crazy. They were really terrified that he was going to get drafted. How they did the deal to trade back from 6 to 9 because they knew Dirk was going to fall because they told everyone else that Dirk couldn't come over. He wouldn't be able to come over for 3 years. And that move from 6 to 9 moved the Mavericks from the red to the black, which meant a lot to Ross Perot Jr. But here's the most amazing part of the story before I get to the context of what Tom just brought up. He told us, my favorite player in the draft that year was Paul Pierce. We were sure Paul Pierce was going to go top 3. So when he fell to 9, I said, oh shit, what do we do? Because on the one hand, we went through all this trouble to hide Dirk. On the other hand, he said, Paul Pierce is My favorite player in the entire draft.
Wow.
Donnie Nelson, his son, who was a GM, had to be like, look, man, we did all of this stuff with the promise to the kid to not go work out anywhere, to not talk to anybody, whatever, for this situation. So they took Dirk Nowitzki, but Paul Pierce was a very real possibility. I say all that to say that was one of the many great stories, but the question that Tom posed is why is Luka thanking Don Nelson for wearing the shoes? It's because no one asked the question to Don Nelson about what he thought about the Luka trade. I'm going to just shoehorn this shit right in here.
I love this. He's been gone for 7 years. He's been on Maui, chilling out, and he's showing up late to the Luka Doncic controversy to get some takes off.
And Luka, too, my dear friend. As a matter of fact, I want everybody to know I'm wearing Luka's shoes, his new shoes from Nike. They just got on the market. And I'm wearing them in protest for the trade from Dallas. I think it was a tremendous mistake by the Dallas franchise to trade him, and I want everybody to know that.
That wasn't a response to any question, even in the vicinity of what's it like to wear shoes, because apparently he hasn't worn shoes in 6 years. That's a thing that was revealed also. So none of y'all gonna ask? Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, these? He did the Jamie Foxx, where it's like no one asks you any questions. Oh, this whole thing? Oh, that's nothing. Just want to wear them. These are new Lukas.
Typically, someone in that position will get in the ear of a journalist, a reporter, and just be like, hey, I'm going to be wearing these shoes if you want to ask about it.
Here's the thing. I found out later, either it was Beck or Stein, one of the two. I was like, oh, yeah, he's been wanting to get that one out. They knew. Everybody knew he wanted to do it, but no, we're not going to ask.
He kept going, too, because he shared what his former coach, Red Auerbach, taught him. Quote, his philosophy was when you have a great player, Bill Russell, Havlicek, Sam Jones, you name him, you don't lose that player. You keep him for a lifetime. You put his number up and you honor that player. That's been my philosophy.
So we got Auerbach's take on the trade from the grave. Thanks to Don Nelson, who has been on a Hawaiian island, secluded, barefoot, smoking weed.
Communing with Red Auerbach.
Yes.
Like a force ghost.
Use the force, Luka.
You guys want to hear some more fun stuff?
Let's hear it.
Number one, how Nelly created Nelly Ball. When he used to play for the Celtics, first under Auerbach, then Heinsohn and Bill Russell, he said, we used to play in practice bigs versus smalls. And he said, if the game was half court, the bigs would dominate us. But if we played full court, we used to dominate the bigs. And so it occurred to me, this should be a strategy. Based off a practice gimmick, it came to him like, oh, we should play this way. The other thing he said was, oh, this is cool, because he's talking about Milwaukee. He said, the most plentiful thing in basketball are little guys who can shoot the shit out of it. There's zillions of them. Bigs who can play, handful of them. So how do I run a system that takes advantage of the most plentiful resource? If I can get me a forward who can create, surrounded with a bunch of little guys who can shoot the shit out of it and go from there. He said, I had Paul Pressey in Milwaukee, surrounding him with guys who fill it up.
Did he really say the word plentiful?
No, but he did say shoot the shit out of them.
Okay. Because when you said plentiful, I was like, that is a great word. I love that.
The other thing was, because I never had any talented bigs, not until I got Bob Lanier, he said, at the end of his career. Oh, also, he's like, our calling card in Milwaukee was defense because we weren't that good offensively. Nelly Ball at that point was exploiting mismatches because we couldn't score, but we were great defensively. And then it get to Golden State, he said, we couldn't guard anybody. So it became an offensive thing. He talked about a lot of stuff, man. It was great. It was a great time.
He would come in the morning at 10 a.m. with his little dog that would piss everywhere with the beer or a coffee cup, but sometimes the coffee cup would have Crown in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Don was just an original. He was just different. Jack lived in the same building as Nelly, but Jack's on like the 12th floor. Nelly's the whole roof. We go down there pre-party at Jack's, go up there, and as soon as we walk in, this is our coach, by the way. Fellas, Woody's in the back rolling joints. Like, huh? Like, I didn't know that he didn't give a fuck. Everyone knew. Yeah. So we go back there and Woody Harrelson's rolling joints. And we're back there smoking joints with Woody Harrelson, bro. We smoke a couple, take some shots. Coach is over there talking to us. It was unbelievable.
Did you ever smoke with your coach though? Duh.
No, we wanted to. Hopefully we do. He's kind of the unofficial mayor of Maui. He's got his own strand of weed out there. He's out there walking around barefooted with his rich homeboy. So we want to get out there and burn one with Nelly.
Raymond Ritter, the PR guy for the Warriors, was there for the announcement. And I told Raymond, I didn't recognize Nelly without a can of beer on the press conference dais in front of him. And that's when I learned apparently Don Nelson has not only quit drinking.
Wait a minute.
But he quit smoking as well.
That's breaking news to me.
Yeah.
Wow. Don Nelson, clean from booze and the weed.
The weed.
My assignment. Uncover why the association inspires more conspiracy theories in volume and salience than any other U.S. sport.
So you've heard of the Illuminati.
The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
The NBA has always been controlled by about 8 people.
Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
If you're only using 10% of your brain, you don't even know that you're using 10% of your brain.
The NBA Illuminati.
If coincidences are just coincidences, why do they feel so contrived?
The Illuminati.
But you start to follow the money, and you don't know where the it's going to take you.
It is unspoken. They have influence among other players.
The NBA Illuminati.
I don't have time for your convenient ignorance.
Maybe I'm a conspiracist now as well.
That's all it took. Oh, we got books, we got schools. You saw a video on YouTube.
Why my eyes, sir? You've never used them before.
We are the Basketball Illuminati.
This is Basketball Illuminati. I am Tom Haberstroh, and joined as always by the 5-star Illuminati generals, Amin Elhassan and producer Anthony Mays. Thanks for the ding. Count the dings. Shout out to Count the Dings.
Members of the Illumination can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/countthedings. You can also show your support by wearing a Third Eye hat or a Basketball Illuminati shirt or hoodie. Check out the link in the show notes or go to the Count the Dings store on Cotton Bureau and keep that third eye open.
We are going to have truth teller Vinny Goodwill of Yahoo Sports joining us. He's been covering the NBA Finals for Yahoo Sports.
Busy man.
Love this guy. He's going to join us to talk about this NBA Finals between Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers and all that's going into it. We're going to talk to him about the pageantry because pageantry is the new physicality.
Yeah.
We did it again.
Out with the physicality, in with the pageantry. It's all P words.
Playoff P.
Well, it's all playoff P, yeah.
It's all Paul George. Yeah. It all starts with Paul George.
Thank you, Paul George.
So about that pageantry.
You are listening to The Agenda with Amin Elhassan and Tom Haberstroh.
It does feel like we're kind of ahead of the game. We got the script, what everyone's going to be talking about in a week. We're hitting it right before. And it was physicality this, physicality that. We bring on Roland Beach, who is the former director of analytics for the Dallas Mavericks, the champion Dallas Mavericks. We're ahead of the game there. Became the biggest talking point until the NBA Finals. And what is the biggest talking point now? It's not physicality. It's the lack of pageantry.
Pageantry.
We're sitting here talking about decals, I mean.
Yes. You know, obviously we talked about with Nate Jones last week. This stuff is important, even though it doesn't seem like it's important. It's important to building the lore. Nostalgia is rooted in these kind of pageantry type touches and nuances to the way the game is presented. So we had this whole conversation before the finals start. Game 1 of the finals, there is this echoing hive mind of, where's the decal? How can we not have a finals trophy decal on it? When in actuality, Tom, when was the last time we had that? Was it last year?
No.
When we had them, or 2 years ago?
No. The finals decal has not been on the NBA floor since 2014.
2014. So 11 years, a full decade. Steph Curry never played on a decal, to put it in perspective. So why was everyone up in arms in this? And from what I could tell, I could glean, it's because of a handful of people. Arash Markazi was one. Kevin O'Connor was another one.
Well, let me jump in here because there's a distinction that I want to make. The on-court decal hasn't been there since 2014, but the superimposed digital NBA Finals decal has been there. And what Worldwide Wob and Kevin O'Connor and other people are pointing out is when they do these replays of a play that just happened and they show the court in the replay, there's no NBA Finals anymore.
There's no logo, yeah.
It's gone. There's no logo. And why is that? Because it's not real. It's superimposed digitally afterwards. And so I went on Getty Images, the stock photo depository for media. I don't know exactly when the last time that the NBA Finals logo hasn't been on the floor. As someone who's been covering the sport, I feel like I should know the answer to this. Oh, it was in 2020. It was 2019. And actually those logos, those script NBA Finals logos that we associate Nelson Mandela effect with the NBA Finals, it actually hasn't been on the floor itself, since 2014 San Antonio Spurs, Miami Heat. And that blew my mind that it's been 11 years. And yet right now is when everyone's demanding it, talking about it. And I think what's happening here is the fact that it wasn't even digital. They didn't even have a digital trophy or NBA Finals in game one. That was alarming. That wasn't a small minority of junkies who were like, wait a minute. It was strange not to have any sort of signage, any sort of indication that this was the NBA Finals on the court.
The only thing we had were the jersey patches, but then you've got so many of the players with long hair. The jersey patches are now on the back of the jersey as opposed to the front of the jersey like they used to be. So since they're on the back, you got so many players where the patch is obscured. Aaron Nesmith and Kaysen Wallace, Miles Turner, like you can't see the patch because the way they wear their hair. That strips yet another layer of this pageantry that we've all been accustomed to. And so, Tom, I was in a mini scrum at an NBA Cares event where this came up. Because, by the way, our guest, Vinny Goodwill, wrote about this as well. And Adam Silver said, I didn't even know it was a big deal. I didn't get any formal requests. I saw it on social media like everyone else. And he said the reason why they removed the physical decal to begin with was the perception of risk. He was very clear to make it known that no one has ever actually gotten hurt on a decal in the NBA Finals. As a result, they just wanted to play it safe, and they removed it altogether.
Quote, one of the reasons we moved away from the logos on the courts is whether it was perception or reality. There was a sense that maybe the logos added some slipperiness to the court, and it was a change sort of on the court that was coming just at the time of the finals. Maybe it's for superstitious reasons or just a sense from teams that we shouldn't be changing things around such important competition. That's largely why we stopped putting the logos on the court.
So it's just vibes, narratives. There's a perception that it's bad, so we should probably not do that.
It's more than that. It's a foist. It's a foist, ladies and gentlemen. He's like, I thought it was cool, but the teams kept complaining about it. So if you have a problem, you need to go holler at the teams, basically. It's an expert level foist from a man who was once the chief legal counsel of the NBA, right? Like, guy negotiated hard in all these CBA negotiations. So, yeah, it makes sense.
He's also playing directly into our hands.
Yeah.
Adam Silver throwing around words like perception and superstition during the NBA Finals. Come on, Kamish. Open your third eye.
I think he listens.
Yeah, he does.
I think he might actually listen. Yeah.
Hey, Adam.
Look, man, we got rid of cold weather all-star weekends. We're bringing pageantry back. My next crusade, white home jerseys.
Yeah.
Enough.
This is part of it too, right? Is what our guy Nate Jones said last week. The NBA or the ESPN broadcast has been trying to squeeze every dollar out of advertising they can get and sponsorships in those pregame shows. And that's why we don't watch the starting lineups anymore. That's why the whole monologue to start the game doesn't feel as big, because we got only 2 seconds of air because we got all these sponsorships we got to sell. And he's like, also the NBA doing all these new jerseys instead of just going with the traditional jerseys. That's all because they want to squeeze every last dollar out of it. And so Nate was absolutely right on that. And I think he would join you on your crusade about the home jerseys, home whites. It feels weird when Oklahoma City's on their home floor wearing blue. And it's weird when the Boston Celtics are wearing green on their home floor and the Knicks are playing with whites.
The weirdest one was during the conference finals, the Timberwolves had a white out and they didn't wear white. The Thunder were wearing white. What are we doing? Like, we've completely lost the plot on some of this. At the same time, can I be a devil's advocate here and say, everybody, stop bitching. Just watch the goddamn game.
Okay.
This thing where people's panties are in a bunch, Yes, it's a suggestion. But to be like, to act like this is somehow ruining the experience is so preposterous, so whiny and entitled that it made me argue against my own point.
All right. But here's what I'm thinking. I mean, Game 2, when they added the emoji trophies, what looked like emojis on the floor, they were so standard definition against the floor. It didn't look great.
It's so small.
You know, when they added it, it was almost like it drew more attention to how small it was.
Yes.
That actually is backfiring, right? And then in the second quarter, I was watching and I was like, wait a minute. The trophies are gone, but they've been replaced.
Well, they did. They switched to the final script.
They said, all you people on Twitter who are tweeting about this, we hear you. Listen, we're watching and we see you and we acknowledge you. We're going to go to the final script in the second quarter. And they changed it. They got rid of the trophies. So I tweeted out and then I got aggregated by Dunk Central. And I was like, oh, are they going to switch it to a third one in the third quarter? Like, is this a new thing that like in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, we're going to have new decals? And sure enough, in the third quarter, what did they do? They brought back the trophies.
Did they?
In the third quarter, they brought back the trophies.
Wow.
And then in the fourth quarter, they brought back the NBA Finals. So they're doing this alternated decal thing. And my theory is this is all because we have lower ratings. This has nothing to do with actual gripes about the lack of pageantry. I feel like this is only becoming a thing because we saw a 20% drop in ratings for the finals and people are searching for reasons why this doesn't feel so big. If ratings were up, I feel like none of this is getting talked about because people aren't looking for reasons why the ratings might be down. And so when people go out searching to try to find those reasons, they say it's because of the decals. It's because of this. In the same way that when we went to the bubble and the ratings were down, there was like 1,000 things that people were complaining about. That was the reason why people are tuning out to the NBA. And if this was Boston versus the Lakers in the NBA Finals, and they did the same exact thing, no decal in Game 1, and then these alternating decals in Game 2, I guarantee you it is not a storyline.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If they'd gone script the whole way, superimposed on the floor, do you think we would have gotten the uproar? Because to me, I don't think the uproar was that they were digitally imposed. I think the uproar was, oh, come on, guys. You had to have like screen tested this. It looked awful. Obviously, I can't see it. I'm at the game. I'm getting messages. I check it, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Like you said, it does look like emojis. Not even like the big fancy ones that iPhones come out with, like the little ones, the ones that your Android friend sends you.
Paul Pierce designed these logos and tweeted them out.
Yeah.
Hey, so there's a story. I did some research to try to figure out, did any NBA player actually get hurt on these decals? Because before Adam Silver said that, I was like, the NBA doesn't make changes without data, without research, without R&D, without a bunch of focus groups and testing and experimenting. But this one, it seemed like they just decided to pull these decals off the floor because of vibes. And I went looking for articles to explain this. I couldn't find anything other than The Cauldron. Remember that site, The Cauldron?
Yeah. SI, right?
Yeah. Where did the NBA playoff decals go? By Raphael Canton, June 5th, 2015. And the headline says, for the first time since 1991, the NBA declined to promote the playoffs on its courts. And boy, have people noticed.
It's a long headline.
So remember, there was that NBA playoffs logo that was on the courts during the NBA playoffs, of course.
Yeah.
And there is a quote from an NBA spokesman. Quote, there were a lot of considerations taking into account in making this decision, including player safety. We haven't received any complaints about the decals from teams or players this season, but it was among the factors we had discussed. We decided to remove the playoffs logo from the court for a variety of reasons, including cleaning up the playing surface, the spokesman added. Throughout the postseason, the logo will appear on pole pads and seat backs and on digital LED stanchions and courtside signage. With this added exposure for the playoff branding, we determined the logos on the court were unnecessary.
You know what that is, right?
We want to clean the court so we can digitally put sponsors on there.
That's all it's about. It's about, hey, man, this is inventory. You guys are giving away free inventory by sticking all this stuff on the court. Get all that shit off the court. Let's sell spots that can be adapted to the market. So viewers in China aren't getting the same signage that we're getting. Hell, viewers in Canada aren't getting the same signage that we're getting. This is all about maximizing the dollar, and this goes back to what our friend Nate Jones told us. Hey, man, I get it. There's money to be made, but can we hold back a little bit in order to preserve the prestige of the product?
Yeah. And there's no player that got injured. All we have is Michael Carter-Williams slipping on it in a game because the Sixers in 2014, on Allen Iverson's jersey retirement night, when they retired the number 3, they put a decal on the floor and Michael Carter-Williams slipped on it. And that was the only thing that I could find where an NBA player had slipped on it. He didn't get injured. He was fine. Just, it was a bad look. There's 2 college basketball instances in 2011 that got Tom Izzo and Roy Williams upset. That was on that Carrier game. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah. The aircraft carrier. Yeah.
Yeah. There might have been like a slippery court, and Tom Izzo and Roy Williams just went nuts. And the most grizzled old coach in college basketball being like, this is a player safety issue, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you're playing a game outside. Maybe that's the player safety issue.
No. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Salute. So I was like, okay. Then there was another one, Belmont versus Memphis, where Chris Crawford, the Memphis Tiger, slipped on it. And the coaches complained about it at halftime, and they decal for the second half. So the NBA is basically drafting off of college hoops and saying vibes, why they got rid of the finals. But what they really want to say, maybe, what they can't say, we want to sell ads there.
The almighty.
Speaking of selling ads,
let's bring in Vinny Goodwill from Yahoo Sports.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts. No monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings. Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
You all think I'm late. Well, I'm not late. And I'm going to stay right here and fight for this lost cause, even if this room gets filled with lies like these. And the Taylors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
There's no better way to overpower a trickle of doubt than with a flood of naked truth.
But the complexity and the gray lie not in the truth, but what you do with the truth once you have it.
What is true and right is true and right for all.
You and I both know that that's just not the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
It's too messy. Keeps them up nights.
I'm here because in the end, the truth is worth the risk.
Speak a little truth and people lose their minds.
I'm a grown man, you can tell me the truth.
Why is it people who want the truth never believe it when they hear it?
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really outrageous. I'm going to tell the truth.
Vinny, we were just talking about the pageantry, the lack of pageantry in the NBA Finals, and you wrote a great story for Yahoo Sports talking about how Adam Silver and the league needs to figure out a way to make this feel big. And when I was doing some research, I figured out that the NBA Finals logo, the thing that we always think about on the floor, it actually hasn't been on the floor since 2014. Is that surprising to you?
No, because I knew it. The playoff logo used to be on the floor. I'll tell you how I knew, because I'm such a geek, right? I was covering a very bad Detroit Pistons team in the early part of that decade. So I never got to cover the playoffs. So in 2015, I'm covering the Bulls. And the game 1 of the playoffs, I literally run onto the court. So I'm going to take a shot from but like a photo from like the top of the lower bowl, like to put on the gram or whatever. The playoffs are here. We're going to see the decals and all that. Nothing is there. I am despondent at that point. I'm totally despondent. I'm like, it ain't the playoffs if the playoff decals ain't on the floor. I'm a weirdo about these things. Like, I remember the NBA Finals decals were on the floor in 1989. The playoff decals were on the floor in 1991, and they've been a part of our lives ever since then. Like, you can look at a highlight and be like, man, is this a regular season game or a playoff game? And it would immediately tell you exactly that it's a playoff game or a finals game. And now everything looks like a Tuesday night in December. Who wants to watch a game in June that looks like a Tuesday night in damn December?
It made it worse with the decals that they did for game 2, right? It just looked so
I think we're getting them back.
I
think we're getting them back. I think we have bullied and punked the NBA into doing something about this to get them back. Not that the decals are coming back. I think they're going to be embedded into the floors. They're going to make the floors, once the conference finals begins, you have 4 teams remaining. It takes about 2 weeks to get this thing done. Bada bing, bada boom, you might have 2 floors that don't get used. Oh, well. They got enough money that they can handle it, right? So I think it shows that public bullying works for the NBA. That's what it shows me. But I do agree that commerce was the reason that the decals were probably taken off of the floor.
Vinny, let me ask you a question, because beyond just, hey, where'd the decals go? Are the decals superimposed digitally? Are they really there or whatever? We also had a thing where it's like they've tried to go away from the finals, the original finals script logo.
Mm-hmm.
Have we ever gotten an answer why they felt like it needed a refresh?
Well, there was someone who's no longer with the NBA, and she decided she wanted everything to look uniform, from like everything, all the fonts and everything else to look uniform, and nobody really railed against it. Remember, the 2017 finals had the final script. The 2018 finals had the Microsoft Word. And I railed against that from like the moment. Like, the crazy thing about the NBA is this. When it's 82 games, it's really hard to build up through an 82 game season to make one game feel special. Football makes every single game feel special. The Kentucky Derby, the Masters, all these single events, and the NBA has to go out of its way to tell you, you should watch this game. This is the NBA Finals. No, you should be telling us that this is the NBA Finals, that this is the pinnacle. This is the biggest games of your year. The NBA Cup should not feel bigger than the NBA Finals, and I think that's where you have drawn the ire of a lot of fans who are not buying the nonsense.
Yeah, for me, it's like you could do it for the NBA Cup, and not just do it. Do it to the extreme. Like, we're talking about courts and adding a decal to the court when the NBA Cup is the biggest, like, artistry or creativity or whatever you want. They treated that court like a canvas for all 30 teams. And now you can't say that you can add a decal. And Amin was just saying that, it is about, like, some of it is just time. They don't have enough time to have like an OKC specific court or an Indiana specific court. But to what you're saying is, I mean, we know the Final Four teams a month ago. Yeah. So, I mean, we can't figure something out where it's actually the court. I don't know. It is, I think also the YouTube stuff.
I think I think it'll happen. I think they've learned the error of their ways. We just have to point things out to them. Like, they're surprised. I'll tell you this. Yeah. They are surprised that this matters to people. They're surprised that anybody cares about this stuff. And we're like, no, you're supposed to care about this stuff. You are supposed to care at how this looks, at how it feels. The things you got to make me feel something. The one thing about the finals, you get to a town, it feels like something big is happening. The last thing we should worry about is the floor or the game day telling us, oh, this is just a regular game.
Tell me about you and Amin. Tell me, like, does it feel like a big event when you're there?
Well, certainly Oklahoma did, because that's all they got going for them. But like, it's, you know what? It's kind of cool. 2 years ago, I was really harsh on Denver because I said if you weren't at the arena in Denver, you would not know there was an NBA Finals. The streets didn't have any banners or stuff. The local businesses didn't have like Go Nuggets or anything. The bus. I remember in Minnesota when I went to the conference finals in last year, like all the buses were like Nas Reed. Like the buses were just talking about a guy who wasn't even a starter for their team. Denver has the best player in the world. And unless you were in the immediate environment of Ball Arena, you would not know that there was an NBA Finals happening. I asked Uber drivers, is this town excited? And I said, look, Broncos, Avalanche, and then depending on who's doing well, Rockies or Nuggets. This is their team in the NBA Finals, mind you. So Oklahoma City, I give them credit that they are fully bought into the NBA experience. It is a big part of the local identity. And everywhere you go, you see people wearing the shirts. You see businesses with the signs. The biggest tower they've got, I don't know what the name of it is. But yeah, the LED OKC Thunder logo at the top. Kind of their version of the Empire State Building having, the lights or whatever. So, I felt that. Vinny, you're in Indianapolis. I don't get there until tomorrow. You'll have to let me know if it's got the same vibes over there.
No, I mean, you got to think this is basketball city, basketball town here. Like, they they really care. Like, granted, like I said, when I got to the bus and we were driving around and I was seeing establishments with names that I recognized, I was like, freedom, happiness, we've gotten here, we've survived. But yeah, there's a couple of large billboard things that's going on. Minnesota had like digital large billboards with Nas Reed and, like you said, Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. Like, you
murals
could tell,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Murals, you could tell the town was really excited and really into it. Denver was really disappointing. Here, I think you're going to get, they can't have a whiteout in Indianapolis for a number of reasons. They're going to have a gold out. You can have a gold out in Indianapolis because people won't get a little too crazy. You can't have a whiteout here because people will get the wrong ideas, right? But I think this is the place where they take a lot of pride. There you go. They take a lot of pride in being a basketball town. Like, remember, Rick Carlisle damn near tried to snatch the microphone away from Ernie Johnson on Ernie Johnson's last day of work to try to say, you know, in other places, it's the playoffs. Here, it's life. You know what I mean? Remember those and one shirts, basketball is life and all that type of stuff? That's here. So, yeah, in Oklahoma City, Amin said it. The Thunder have given Oklahoma City an identity that they probably did not have prior to 2008. It's unfortunate that we have to hang out in Oklahoma City on the days in between the games. That's the only problem.
I didn't mind. It wasn't that bad, man.
Yeah, what was
whenever someone starts with it ain't
outfit?
that bad, that's how you know.
Did you witness the cowboy outfit in person, Vinny?
Oh man, this is
Amin's cowboy hat and camouflage.
This is a Basketball Illuminati exclusive. That wasn't from Oklahoma City.
That was faking.
That was an old photo, and I decided to post it because I thought it'd be funny. Like,
Amin memed himself to pretend like he had turned into a cowboy.
Yeah, people were excited, man. They were like, "Where'd you go?" And I was like, "Ah."
For the audio audience, Vinny is appalled by this
because he hasn't seen the picture. That's why.
Yeah, you fraud! You total fraud!
Fraud for wearing that, or fraud for pretending I wore it in Oklahoma? Which one?
Fraud for pretending? No, if you're gonna wear it, wear it. Like, but fraud for pretending to be part of the culture. Those people take pride in that. Look, man, we hung out in Oklahoma City a couple times, man. It ain't too many places, ain't too many times where you're like, man, we really ain't in Oklahoma City. No, we're in Oklahoma City at all times. They never let you forget that you are. Never mind. I was going to say something really not nice.
That's why we found the one place.
That's what the one place.
The one place. Shout out to Mark Spears. Mark Spears found the one place, and then we ran that place into the ground, man. They had their best 5 days of revenues ever in the history of that establishment.
By far. I would say it's like a strip club without the strippers.
And with Uno.
Uno. There was nothing untoward. There was no strippers there.
No.
It was a hazy vibe.
Yeah.
Gives you the vibe of an establishment. But it was not an establishment.
No.
You might say that some places like that have aura or some sort of atmosphere that brings people there and have a good time. That's my segue for my next question. Are we at a lack of that kind of it factor, whatever intangible we want to say with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Tyrese Haliburton, or is Haliburton's heroics down the stretch enough to get the casual sports fan to watch these NBA finals?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what the casual sports fan wants. Like, I was astonished when people were saying, because it's Oklahoma City and Indiana, I'm not going to watch. Not because it's two boring teams, not because it's teams that a casual fan couldn't get into and invest in, but because of the city that is being held. We should care more about where the NBA finals are more than the general fan. Y'all ain't got to be in these cities. All y'all got to do is tune in for 2.5 hours. Now, what I think the NBA has is they're in a marketing quandary right now, guys. I think they're in a spot where the players are more visible than ever in all of these different places, and yet we don't feel like we know any of them at all. Like, whether that's Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic, guys who don't do anything beyond The league mandated media. They don't let anybody, and this is not me campaigning for the media or anything like that, even though it could be perceived that way. But getting us a chance to get to know you becomes a conduit to the public. It should be more than just, oh, I'm good at basketball and that should sell. That's not that way. In the NBA, Amin slightly disagrees with me on this one. I think the NBA's best marketing was jumping on the back of what Nike was doing in the 90s. Nike created these larger-than-life athletes, and the NBA sort of crafted its personality and marketing schemes around it. Now, granted, David Stern was a marketing genius. I got this black guy in LA. I got this white dude in Boston. The NBA is fantastic. Absolutely right. And then it changed and Nike became more prevalent. And now I wonder what's going to be like the bell cow for the future of this, not just post LeBron, Steph, KD, but who's going to be the personality of the way everything is sort of built around, not face of the league, but personality that the NBA can say, this is what we're like. If I'm pointing to you, an NBA player, to somebody from Mars who comes down and they want to see a basketball game, who's the player and the personality that the NBA is going to say, you will know everything important that you need to know by watching this player right now?
Vinny, let me ask you a question. Last week we had Nate Jones on the pod, and he said one of the reasons why this face of the league thing is fraught with peril is because the guys, the last generation, Steph, KD, LeBron, came from an era of monolithic culture.
Monoculture, yeah.
Meaning, right, like that monoculture, right? Like the idea that like your grandma knows who Steph Curry is. Everybody knows who Steph Curry is because he was popular at a time where everybody turned on TVs and watched TV. These things were communal. And now because of the way technology has fractured audiences and everything is niche upon niche upon niche, it's impossible for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, regardless of how damn charming he is, to break through in the way that those guys broke through a generation before.
I will counter that to say, if Anthony Edwards wanted it, wouldn't Anthony Edwards be everything that we say you can't be? Like he would break through. If Anthony Edwards wanted it, he has the charm. He's not even with Nike. He's with Adidas. You know what I mean? But if there was a want to with this, it would work. The other thing I think is this. When you talk about face of the league, it's not about being the best player. To me, it's about for better or worse, and sometimes it can be for worse, something happens outside of your small sphere, and we ask LeBron about it. We ask Steph about it. We don't really ask KD about things outside of basketball, but we ask those two things outside of the world of basketball that can be pulled into basketball. Basketball being the centerpiece and everything else can sort of come in. Well, this is what Steph thinks about person X or person Y. You know, that's why a lot of times when those guys are at the Olympics and you see them at swimming or at gymnastics and everything else, it feels bigger. It feels more visible because you see them in places other than their own spaces. That's where the endorsement comes in. That's where everything else comes in. But these guys don't want the desire or responsibility to speak out about things that have nothing to do with basketball and inside those 48 minutes. If it's not that, they don't want to talk about it. And I think that's I won't say it's a bad thing, but it's not a great thing for how the league is going to market itself for the future.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Whether your business has 6 floors or 6 employees, Walmart Business has everything you need to save time, money, and hassle. You can restock your break room with bulk ordering or bulk up your ordering team with shared payments. And you can get it all delivered straight to your business's door, whether that's on Wall Street or Main Street. Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love, now for your business. Learn more at business.walmart.com.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I think if Anthony Edwards is in the NBA Finals, like you said, it doesn't matter if he wants it or not. He's going to be it. Like, I think if he's the face of the NBA, or if he's in the NBA Finals, he won the West, and he's going against Boston or whoever comes out of the East, Indiana, what have you. I think just by virtue of being in the NBA Finals and having his personality, it's not even a matter of want, because it just,
I think you have to want it. I think you have to want it. You have to embrace it, because there's going to be so many things that you don't want to do, that you're inclined not to do, but because you recognize it's a greater responsibility. Like, think about it. If Anthony Edwards had Jason Tatum's want to, you would have it all, because Jason Tatum wants so bad to be the face. And we're just like, no, you're just not that guy. For whatever reason, we're like,
Great
Jason,
point.
We get it. You're a walking meme. You know all of the memes from all of the GIFs and everything else, and you want all of these moments, and we're just not going to give it to you. So if Anthony Edwards had Jason Tatum's want to, we'd not have a single problem in the world.
Vinny, is Tyrese Haliburton hurt?
I mean, everybody's hurt this time of year. Is he injured? I don't think he's injured. I think he's hurting. Right. But guess what? Because the NBA Finals are so spread out, you got 3 days to stretch that thing out. Right? You got 3 days to figure out if that's soreness or if that is hurting. I didn't see him hurting during the game.
Right.
I didn't see a play where I'm like, oh, man, he came up ginger there.
Tweak this or something like that.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to, now granted, some injuries happen and you play through and it's adrenaline and everything else, and then you find out on the back end. But I don't tend to believe that this is going to be something that hinders him. Everybody playing hurt because you're playing 120 games into the season.
Sure. For the record, he limped into the post-game press conference room with a slight limp. He limped out with a much more pronounced limp.
You know, you're sitting there, your body tightens up, you know? It just,
I was stood right by the door. I didn't come sit down. I was in the doorway. So when he walked in, I was like, is he limping? And then when he walked out, it was kind of like, he was damn near dragging it. And he ended up walking out the arena. And so it's like, is this real, or is this, you want to talk about someone embracing kind of these roles and these archetypes? This dude really embraces it, right? He wants to be the villain, and I'm trying to think of maybe if this is even something. This is a play, all part of.
You think he's Keyser Soze,
yes,
the media, and then the Thunder.
Yes,
the limp straightened up as soon as he turned the corner.
He has that voice modulation thing going on too. That he switches.
We figured that out. He's doing Big Waz's nerd voice. That's all he's doing. Well, I think that the analytics on this one are blah, blah, blah.
The voice changes mid-sentence sometimes too.
Yeah, it's wild.
Have you noticed that? I mean, that it sometimes changes mid-sentence. It's not really pronounced, but you're like, "Ooh, it just went really low here." You know what I mean? Like
McAfee was like, "Wait a minute, your voice just changed right there. That was really weird. I thought it was in my ear, but like."
He claims he doesn't even realize he's doing it. That's the funny part. It's not like the Waz thing. I believe him. If it was the Waz thing, it's like, yeah, I'm going to put on a voice to like emphasize the point or depict someone else who would be saying this kind of stuff. But this is just him in the flow, in the rhythm. He just changes voices.
Yeah, I think he's got a case of Lugentitis. I think he's got Dortitis. I think he's in the torture chamber. He's that dude. The stat was from ESPN that heading into this series, of all of Tyrese Haliburton's defenders over the last 2 years, Lou Dort has held him to the fewest shots per minute on the floor. That's continued in this postseason. He has scored 2 points while being guarded by Lou Dort in the 2 games of the NBA Finals. And so I can understand why he would want to limp afterwards and just be like, it's that. It's not the fact that Lou Dort is locking me down. Because that is what I'm seeing, is that every time Lou Dort is on him, like on that final shot, I was like, yep, that's going in. Not because it was Tyrese Haliburton with the ball. It was because it was Tyrese Haliburton with the ball and Lou Dort is elsewhere, and it was Keyser Wallace guarding him.
The sad part is Keyser Wallace did a good job. It's just him not being Lou Dort gave Tyrese Haliburton that little extra juice.
Well, I'll say this. Lou Dort plays basketball like somebody who's blind. You know what I mean? Like he plays basketball like I'm just going to throw my body into somebody. It could be a teammate. It could be the stanchion. Like he's just throwing his body all over the place. He's a blind linebacker. You remember Terry Crews? Remember
Terry Tate. Terry Tate, office linebacker.
Yeah. That's Lou Dort, right? That's literally like, man, get this clown off of me. So yeah, I think it's something. But in sense of the heel, wouldn't it be great if he's limping and then you hear the glass break? Oh my God, that's Tyrese Haliburton's music. And he does like the Stone Cold thing. Like, remember, Triple H is at the games and everything else. Like, it wouldn't be surprised. A little chicanery, a little gamesmanship. Yeah. I'm down for it. I'm down for the theater, right?
Joel Embiid might be given the D-Generation X, just hit him with that, like with Triple H in the.
That's the wrong name to say during the NBA Finals because he knows nothing about that.
Oh man,
yeah, you're right.
Nothing about that.
That's some off the record conversations from NBA Finals week.
NBA Finals after dark.
We got it. Before we get you out of here, we got to ask, because I showed Vinny this. This happened to me in the middle of the finals. I got a text message from my buddy, and I laughed and I showed Vinny the text message, and it was just like, is Vincent Goodwill a credible source? That was the thing. And it's from one of my buddies who's a Knicks fan, and Vinny, you had the report this week that Jim Dolan apparently spearheaded the firing of Tom Thibodeau. Now, when you say spearheaded, what does that exactly look like?
I mean, speaking in the wrestling theme, you know what I mean? Somebody getting in the ring and coming out with the jackhammer or something like that.
You don't know. Fired!
Going full Vince McMahon. Wait, are we allowed to say his name in public?
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right.
You can't hear.
Yeah, but no, I tend to believe everything that I was told, that it wasn't Leon Rose who wanted Tom Thibodeau fired. Do you think Leon Rose wants the smoke of having to, being like Puxatawny Phil and going out there and seeing his shadow and talking to the media when we never hear from Leon Rose in terms of public accountability? Do you think he wants to hear the calls that he should come out and talk to the media? Do you think he wants the task of trying to find another coach to replace the coach who took them to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years? Or do you think the owner, who sat in on the meetings, who asked the questions of the players, hey, what do you think about the coach? What do you think about this and that? And Leon Rose is sitting there not saying anything? Now, maybe Leon Rose could have saved Tibbs. Who knows? There was a point where I think they might have been completely joined at the hip. If one goes, you both can go. But I don't think they're in that place anymore. And I do think that Leon Rose felt like there's not much I can do here, especially if the players are saying the things that they're saying, not to me, but directly to the owner. What would I look like if I reversed course or said, you know what, guys, you know what, Jim, I don't think you should fire this guy. I think you kind of read which way the wind is blowing. And from what I understood, he was fired shortly after the meeting. So it's easy to say, the game of Clue. It's Dolan in the kitchen with the steak knife.
With the kazoo. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. Do you think that Dolan has someone in mind that he wants to be the head coach all along, or do you think it's just I don't want that guy?
Do you think the New York Knicks have a plan?
Yeah, I think Leon Rose would have a plan, but I don't think Jim Dolan would have a plan.
If this were Leon Rose to me, we wouldn't be hearing 5, 6, 7 names, possibilities. We would be hearing, we are zeroing in on this guy, whoever this guy is, and we're going to try to make it work. It does not feel like they have a plan.
Is trying to get Jason Kidd from the Mavericks at all theoretically possible? Like, is that something that Jason Kidd is interested in or the Mavs would consider?
I mean, I don't know if the Mavs would want to consider it, but if you can get a first-round draft pick from it, I don't know. I think that Jason Kidd might find it intriguing. Remember, he played for the Knicks. He coached the Nets. He's very familiar with that whole New York scene. I don't know how he views the Dallas Mavericks with Cooper Flag coming in, and then you got Kyrie Irving, who's hurt, and then you got Anthony Davis, who's always hurt, and then you got Klay Thompson, who's old. How he views the Knicks will be viewed through the prism of how he views his current situation. And I don't know if he necessarily views the current situation as something that he can't win, but I would think that he views the Knicks situation as something that, hey, maybe we have the assets if I go to New York that we can lure a Giannis or we can lure a Kevin Durant, and that makes the job that much more attractive. But I think a name that we have to look out for, there's 2 other names we have to look out for, in addition to Jason Kidd. Mike Brown recently deposed from the Sacramento Kings, the dysfunctional Kings. Johnny Bryant, longtime assistant for the Knicks, but I have a hard time believing that the Knicks will go with a first-time head coach for these guys.
Johnny Bryant got the finalist job from the Phoenix Suns, as we covered last week. Is it the Phoenix Suns? Yeah. Oh, we landed with the Michigan State guy. Do you have any other...
Complete coincidence.
Do you have any input to share with our audience on what it's like to watch this, given your background in Michigan and all this stuff? Like, what do you think is this just owners being owners, and this is always how it works in the NBA, or is this a particularly interesting story that we're seeing in Phoenix, aligning from top to bottom Michigan State?
I think it's interesting because people see the Michigan State connections. I think it's partially interesting because Matt Ishbia played college basketball. He was on a college basketball championship team, so he does have a basketball base of knowledge compared to just being a guy who's rich. But I think when you look at most NBA owners, when they first buy in, they believe the strategy that made them a billionaire is a strategy that's going to make them a successful NBA owner. And it usually takes you 6, 7, maybe 8 years before you realize this is a completely different ball game. So I'm not surprised that the coach, the president of basketball operations, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to bring Sparty in to be their new mascot and replacing the gorilla. They're going to try to make everything in Phoenix green.
Yeah. DeMarcus, come on down. Who else can we get from Michigan State to go over and play for the Phoenix Suns?
Mo Pete.
We have Mo Pete come
Jason
back.
Richardson's kid in the draft. Jace Richardson.
Yeah. Jace Richardson, bring him on down.
They don't have any draft picks.
Magic Johnson. See if you want to be a contributor. Come and play. Remember Magic played with the Harlem Globetrotters, for a cup of coffee. Does Phoenix have a point guard?
Tyus Jones is free agent.
Once again, the Phoenix Suns need a point guard. Irv, come on down.
Come on down. Yes. That's Vinny Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. The Good Word at Yahoo Sports. Go listen to his podcast. Does a great job for Yahoo Sports. And I'm going to say Yahoo Sports one more time, because you know what? We don't have the court behind us to advertise like the NBA does to digitally superimpose. But
I'm going to tell you right now, Tom, you pull up Yahoo Sports, it's like it's the Vinny Goodwill show. Every fucking article. I'm like, yo, how is this guy reporting on everything?
What do you want me to say to that? They just worship me like a dog in an NBA Finals. Like, that's just what it is, dog. Whoop-de-doo, all of what Indianapolis has to offer. Better than Oklahoma City. I saw, not Benihana's, what's the other place? I saw one of those places, and I was like, civilization. We've reached civilization.
I like that Indianapolis is the pinnacle, the metropolis now, because it's not Oklahoma City.
So, Tom, we basically ended up going to the same place over and over and over again. Like, over the span of like 6 days or whatever. We went to that place probably 3 or 4 times. Then the one night we were like, you know what? Let's go check out Tim McMahon's place, Big Rich.
Big Rich.
The night we were like, finally, we're going to go. We're going to see what this is all about. They call the affectionate nickname they gave the bar is the Scholarship Bar. So I went to Uber. I get the call from Sam Amick and Vinny like, hey, man, it's shut down because there was an incident. Now, here's the funny part. I run into Tim McMahon yesterday at the game. I said, oh, man, it's crazy what happened. He's like, what happened? So, well, the whole incident thing. I was like, what incident? There was no incident. I was there. I was like, yeah, you were inside, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, apparently there was an incident outside, and they wouldn't let any of us in as a result.
Oklahoma City.
Do we know what the incident was?
It was this.
And it didn't reach Tim McMahon inside.
Nope. Tanya Ganguly, a bunch of people that are inside were like, really? There was something that happened? Meanwhile, Fred Katz said, that's like the 3rd time there's been a at that place.
Maybe we should be going to that bar. Maybe.
I'm like, what's happening, man? I said, maybe it's you, Fred.
I didn't know that, Amin, and I didn't know that there was a 3rd incident. I'm just finding out some things here. So we won't be going there for Game 5. I'm not running into Colonel Stinkmeaner at Big Rich's bar. That ain't happening, dog.
What's really on?
You better have insurance, Vinny. Basketball.
Yeah.